All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and our main website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, is Melissa Bryan. And instead of me reading the lineage that this young lady comes from, I should say, I'm going to bring Melissa on the show now. And Melissa, first of all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I was wondering if you could go through your lineage for us, because it's very impressive.
Hi, thank you. I come with a very broad lineage of people. Everyone from Billy the Kid on up to Jesse James. We've got John Wesley Hardin. We've got Belle Starr. Any of the big outlaws and a lot of the native leaders like Barboncito and Gray Owl, and even my own 16th great-grandfather, who is White Feather. He was a Virginia Iroquois, but I'm not personally recognized because I don't have the blood quantum they're looking for, unfortunately. But I still love them. They're still my people. They're still my heart and my soul. So, I send a big hello to them, and I love you guys so, so much. And I also want to send a great big hello, hi, Robert, to my cousin Robert Treadway over in Virginia and his mother. Hi, guys. We love you. Mwah. And, I have such a tremendous, tremendous lineage. Just go to my website, look it all up. Everything is there. Either that or you can get book now at Amazon and Kindle. You can get it at lulu.com. Just look for My Life as a Medium.
Slow down. Take a breath. Slow down.
Okay.
How do you know that your lineage... wait a sec here. How do you know that your lineage is so encompassing? Like it seems almost impossible when I listened to your lineage. Like it's, wow, Billy the Kid, all these different big names. How do you know that they're all connected?
I know that they're all connected. They're not only just family stories, but I have paper lineage tracings.
Gotcha.
I have actually traced all these lineages, and everyone is all interconnected. Because if you think about it, after the Civil War, there were not so many men left after that because so many hundreds of thousands died in that time period. Not only of just illness, but disease and, gunfire and cannon fire and all this stuff, dying in battle. And it left very few families, and these families had to start again, basically. And sometimes cousins intermarried cousins. It did happen. I know my fourth great grandparents, they were first cousins and they married. Yeah.
But if there was a lot of disease, wouldn't a lot of the women have died as well?
In respects, I believe yes, but that was more like of things like venereal disease and maybe sometimes starvation, because a lot of rationing was going on in that time period, and even childbirth killed women a lot of the time. In fact, that was probably more deadly than anything else.
Really? You were saying that a lot of men died in the Civil War. I can understand that, and I appreciate that, and that's very well historically documented.
Yeah.
But the names that you mentioned were from the Old West, who were not in the time of the Civil War.
Yes, they were post-Civil War, but their lineages oftentimes all intermarried with each other.
Okay.
And I have a lot of this paper documented.
Must have taken you quite some time to do all this research on yourself.
Oh, yeah. It took me probably about, I want to say about 25 years to compile it.
Fascinating. You and I have to take our first commercial break. Please stand by. Exonation, our guest this hour is Melissa Bryan. She's also known as Little Feather. Her website is www.justmemedium.com. That's www.justmemedium.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Once again, if you'd like to send me any comments, if you'd like us to get a special guest on the show, or if you'd just like to say hi, the email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. That's xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Melissa Bryan is our special guest. Her website is www.justme.com. www.justme.com. Melissa, when did your psychic abilities come into your life, and when was it that you decided to pursue your calling as not only a psychic medium but also a shaman?
Well, I actually started with my abilities at age 3. I was almost 4 years old at the time. And my sister had just been born. She was newborn. This big, black, massive shadow being, spirit type thing with like this long veil over it, long robe and all that, came into my parents' bedroom and had this weird nightmare that hounded me for quite a long time till I finally got rid of it. But that aside, basically it came in and started to go after my sister. And I got up, I said, no, you're not going to do this. Get out. Get out of my house and do not come back. I literally at 4 years old confronted this thing. And I made that thing leave. And it left. And it never came back. I'd never seen it again. And I'd, over the years, seen and heard and felt things I could not explain. Until finally the age of 21 came and things started coming to a real big head. And my ancestors came to me from spirit. Mm-hmm. And they told me, you're going to be a shaman. I goes, I'm going to be a what? How am I going to pay the bills? Because I've heard that does not often really pay the bills. But they said, don't worry about that. We'll put whatever you need to have in your path. I said, okay, well, it's up to you if that's what you want, if that's what's supposed to be. And so things have continued throughout my life, and I finally started heavily pursuing it maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. When I came to New Mexico, I figured it was a time to refresh, start over, redo, reset, and just start working with what I was given.
Okay, you said that at the age of 4 you cast out a spirit. And then at 21,
yes.
At 21 your ancestors came to you in spirit and told you that you were supposed to follow the training of a shaman.
Shaman.
Am I right so far?
Right.
Okay. So
yeah.
When was it you started checking out your lineage? Because, there's a 17-year gap here between the age of 4 and 21. Did you do any psychic medium work in between that time, or was that another part of your life until you were given the information from the elders on the other side?
That was given to me from the elders on the other side, okay?
Yeah.
But also throughout my life, I'd had various experiences I didn't quite understand, and it didn't really come together as a full picture until the age of 21. I didn't start doing the family lineage until I was 13.
I see.
I found a family tree in a family Bible that had belonged to my great-grandmother, okay? And from there, it really sparked my interest. I'm trying to figure out who are we, what are we about, because there were parts of our lineage that were missing.
Right.
No kidding, literally. And finally, I got the information from my family as for the reason why. I'm not going to state that here because that's kind of a little bit of a personal thing. But I got the information from my family, and with just a few key pieces of information, I finally sat down at a family history center in Wyoming. I said, look, to my great-grandmother, if you were out there, I want you to help me with this. Help me crack this wide open, because I have no idea who we are. I knew about the Italian side of my mother's family, but I did not know everything about them until now, or until maybe about a year or two ago. And then I started piecing everything together, and everything fell into place when my great-grandmother's family came wide open.
I see. So you were originally born in Santa Monica. Which side of your family is the Native American side?
My father.
I see.
It's my father's mother's father's direct lineage.
Wow. So what's it like being a medium?
It's interesting, to say the least. Like, for example, because I do what is known as psychometry, what that is that's the reading of like objects and buildings. I can read energy from land. I can read energy from a vehicle, from a piece of clothing, from a piece of jewelry, a watch, something of that nature. Everything around us holds energy, and that's what I read. That's what I'm able to read. I can even read photos. And I'm going to give you an example. Like last night, I was watching the, I think it was last night. No, night before last. I'm sorry. I was watching Ghost Adventures from the Queen Mary. And yes, I do have I guess you could say a little bit of a connection to the spirits there myself. And I can swear to you and testify in court, I swear this happened, that Peter James actually came to visit. Yes, the Peter James, psychic medium. And I asked him, look, if there's anything bad aboard that ship, are you trying to protect me and protect my family from that? And I heard a voice clearly say, yes. I'm going, okay, because I've kind of come to the conclusion that, to question such things is not really that great of an idea. I've seen, I've heard, I've felt, etc., too much to really question what spirit does or does not do, because they have their way of doing things. And when it comes into my line of things, and it was just so cool because I felt him touch my head, and he played with my cat and was kind of rubbing on his tummy and making him all comfy, and the room just got really warm. And it's not a warm like a bad warm, but it's a good warm, like a comfortable warm. Like for me, it will be almost like, if it's like family, it will be like a blanket has come out of the dryer and wrapped around my shoulders.
So it's a warm, fuzzy feeling.
And around my body. Yes, a warm, family, fuzzy feeling. Yes.
So why do you think Peter James came to see you?
I don't know. I think there's something aboard that ship that has not yet revealed itself that is not positive. And I had gone aboard the ship myself about, I want to say back in 2009, so several years back. I had picked up on some of the very things that the show had actually not only just talked about, but actually showed with their equipment. And some of the feelings they got were the same ones I got. So that validated to me what they were experiencing is exactly what I experienced. And I know Peter James is a very big part of that ship. And I think because of the connection between mediums and psychics and people in my line of work, it's almost like we can feel each other's energies.
Well, if you guys are all connected, how come you can go to 5 different psychics and get 5 totally different readings?
Because certain psychics pick up on certain things that others may not. And they may be getting like parts of the story to try to help you connect the dots. If you connect all the different stories you get, certain parts of it are going to make relevance to the others, and they're going to it's almost like connecting the dots. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. What did you want to be when you were a little girl growing up? Did you want to be a psychic medium, or did little Melissa want to be a nurse? Did she want to be a housemaker? Did she want to be a dressmaker? What did little Melissa want to do?
I wanted to be a dancer.
I
wanted to be a ballerina. Yeah, I really like to dance and to kind of, move rhythmically. But in many years since, I've lost all that. I've really lost all that.
So tell me, are you a mom? And if so, are any of your children gifted?
No, I'm not a mom. I'm a cat mom. I have one cat. And honestly, I don't have any children for very good reason. I'm not going to go into that here. It's not the time or place.
Okay. How about siblings, your brothers or your sisters? Are they gifted?
I have one sister. She is gifted. She does physical therapy work because out of my dad's line, some of us are mediums, some of us are psychics, some of us are healers. I got a little bit of the healing work myself. I do what is known as Reiki. In other words, I can manipulate energy and energy fields. And I'm going to give an example of this. There was this one lady I saw at 4th of July one year. Her hand was all gnarled up and she had a brace on it. And I asked her, what's wrong with your hand? Is there anything I can do to help? And just my heart really went out to her. I said, put your hand between my hands. I'm going to try to straighten your energy out a little bit, help the doctors do what they do, because I'm not a doctor, but I can help them along, And I basically went through her energy field and my hands just got blistering hot. Wow. Really, 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 really hot. And I put her hand through my hands, and I just kind of helped to kind of smooth and correct the energy that was gnarling her hand so badly. And she came to me about 3 years later. Her hand was completely straight.
Wow. Really? That's great.
I cannot even explain it. And her mother's knee was acting up, so I tried to help her knee along. I've not had word yet as to how she's doing. But I've done this with several people, and it seems to really work.
All right, Melissa, please stand by. Please stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Melissa Bryan is our guest this hour, X-Zone Nation. JustMeMedium.com is her website, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing, week of October 6th through the 12th, 2014, for the X-Zone. At Yom Kippur, we begin the fall eclipse season, as well as Mercury retrograde and a Uranus-Sun opposition. This face-off indicates a time of trying to change the status quo while simultaneously trying to keep everything in balance, along with keeping your monthly bills paid. Whatever Uranus is involved in, you usually lose something in order to gain something of more value. These eclipses will have far-reaching consequences. This energy promises to be a major positive influence on national and global power struggles. Mercury is now retrograde through October 25th. This presents many opposites as Aquarius, the moon, wants to communicate and share with Saturn in Scorpio. And Saturn always wants to hole up and seeks privacy. Rest up this week because the intensity is going to pick up as we move into the red moon lunar eclipse on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the sun is opposite Uranus, and that means anything can happen. Be careful where you step your feet, when you're behind the wheel of a car, or when you write or say something to your social media. On a personal level, Wednesday's eclipse is a watermark and signifies the end of a cycle, be it 7 years, 14 years, or 28 years. This is a week of completions rather than initiations, freedom, release, and changes in the air. On October 8th, the full moon is a total lunar eclipse creating a red moon and can be seen in the Pacific and Western North America. It occurs in Libra, which asks you to look deep within your emotions and rebalance your independent needs with your sharing needs in your relationships. Consider where you are out of balance in terms of partnerships and take care of your own needs. Remember that Mercury is retrograde until the 25th, so do not carve your decisions in stone. Adaptability is more important than knowing exactly how things in your life will work out. Venus is opposing Uranus now. This can have a we are friends or lovers tone to it. Uranus wants freedom and Venus wants partnership. This can be exciting or disruptive. Expect the unexpected. Uranus has a lot of fun, but planning is not its strong suit. In the next 2 weeks, the time between eclipses brings up hidden emotions. Make time for your emotional needs. On Friday, communication planet Mercury slips back into Libra for the remainder of the retrograde cycle. You can meet a lot of new people in the next coming week, but remember, all of them probably are just passing through. Practice communicating in a diplomatic way. People offer to help you, and they're helping themselves just as much. Be the catalyst for goodwill and get problems solved at the same time. People will find you, and they may try to shake you down for help or advice or favors. Some of these requests will be fun, and it's always flattering to be asked.
And for more information, or if you'd like to get a private consultation with Elizabeth Joyce, her website is www.new-visions.com. That's www.new-visions.com. Exonation, my guest this hour is Melissa Bryan. She is also known as Little Feather. Her website is www.justmemedium.com. That's www.justmemedium.com. Melissa, what was it like with your first experience with spirit?
I was terrified.
Really?
I will say that flat out. I was scared to death.
Why?
It was absolutely terrifying. I mean, you're this little kid. You don't understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're seeing this, whatever it is, and it's going after your infant sister. I think you'd be pretty scared.
But how did
I did. I had to go.
How did you know
Yes.
what to do? How did you know what to do?
I think I just got up the courage to just say no, to make it very clear that this was our home, not its home. It had no place here and was not welcome.
In later years, were you able to identify this spirit and why he attacked your sister?
No, honestly, I have not.
Wouldn't that interest you as a medium to want to know why your sister was attacked at such a young age?
Yeah. I think it's because she was at that time as gifted, if not more so than me. And mediums like myself and newly arrived mediums and or healers, we are more susceptible to such attacks. And we are able to either fend them off or block them from happening, or for that matter, protect another one of our from it.
But
because
as
I can, for example,
as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when in the case of your younger sister, who you think might have been more psychically gifted or more intuitive than you are, wouldn't she be protected by guardian angels and good spirits?
Yes, I think that is part of it, and I think she was being protected by them. But at the same time, I had my own energy that it came to me first, and I was able to block the attack before it could get to her. Because I've noticed that I'm able to, like, for example, hello,
are you still there? Hello, Melissa. Hey, Melissa, are you still there? Melissa, where did you go? Melissa, where did you go? We seem to have lost our guest this hour, X-Zone Nation. I have no idea what is going on here. Craig is trying his very best to contact Melissa, but for some reason we're unable to get back to her. Craig, what do you suggest we do, my good friend? Okay, do you want to try it again, Craig? Let's try it. And Craig is going to...
that.
Oh, there we are. Hey.
My cat disconnected.
Your cat...
Yeah, so sorry about that. My cat, he disconnected us.
Oh, well, there's...
He walked over my... he walked over my laptop. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, there should be a rule when you're doing an interview, no cats in the room.
Yeah, I know. He just likes to stay by me, I guess, like a guardian or protector or something. I don't know. Anyway, as I was saying, that basically I'm able to put a shield around, like an energy shield, around certain people. If I feel that they need a protection and or they ask for energy work be done, I can put a shield around them, and it's fairly strong.
Okay, so basically you take you give them a protective covering.
Right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. How accurate is your psychic ability?
About 90%. I give myself a 10% margin of error just in case I'm wrong about something, and more often than not, that works a very nice balance.
Wow. And are you what I would consider a spontaneous psychic? You can do readings anywhere, anytime?
Yeah.
Give me a reading.
Yes.
Read me.
Well, okay, let's see. You're a starseed. I'm looking at your eyes. You're a starseed.
And what's a starseed?
Really, and I've encountered this before. You have some ancient energy that stays with you, and you've gone through this lifetime to lifetime. And I see it in your eyes, in your facial expression, just the way that your face reads. You're a starseed.
Okay.
Ooh, I see yeah. I do see some planets that you have been on in prior lifetimes. You chose this lifetime to experience what human nature has to offer. And you've been doing this starseed thing for quite a while. Yeah, I read starseed. It's just your auric makeup just says starseed. Really strong.
And what is a starseed?
Well, it's people that traditionally come from other planets and other galaxies that they may have experienced it either this lifetime or be prior lifetimes and have really ancient energies to them that pertain to other very, very ancient energies, such as Peru and some of these other older, like traditions.
I see. Well, I'm very interested in ancient history and archaeology. Maybe that's why. What else do you see?
That could very well be why.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. You're a very, 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 very old soul. You have a very, very ancient soul makeup. You've been to a lot of different places. You've been native in a couple of lifetimes. You've been maybe on other planets and other cultures. You've been, oh, golly. Let me see if I can access your Akashic chart. I do that sometimes.
Sure. While you're doing that, I'll let the listeners go on.
You've been a mariner a couple of times.
A what?
A mariner. It means like either a ship's captain or a deckhand or someone that worked on a ship or on the water.
I love water.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so I see I've hit on that. You've got a lineage going back quite a ways with either water or planets or starseed. You've done this so often. You're a really super old soul. You've got a lot of energy with you, and you're very well protected in this lifetime. You're doing a fantastic job also, with your radio work and all the media work that you're doing. Keep going that way. You're in the right direction at this point.
Wow. Do you have a message for me from the other side?
Let me see if I can access that. If I get quiet for a minute, just bear with me.
Sure. In fact, what I'll do is I'll let the listeners know that I'm talking to Melissa Bryan, and her website is www.justmemedium.com, and you can listen to the X Zone Radio Show 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year by going to www.xzoneradiotv.com. There you go, Melissa.
The message is you're doing great. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. And you have a lot of angels and guides helping you. You can access them by talking to them like you talk to me or anyone else. Okay? You're very, very, you've got a lot of white energy around you, which means you're very angelically and white light protected. So you've got a lot of good energy with you.
Wow, that's great. Super, thank you.
So keep going, keep doing what you're.
So tell me about your books.
Well, the book I have, My Life as a Medium: A Journey Through the Paranormal. It can be purchased right now at Amazon.com, Amazon Kindle and Kindle Fire, and also at Lulu.com. What this book is this is a book I wrote pertaining to my own experiences and the things that I have learned over the years as a medium, and in hopes that it will help others.
Now, I understand you also host your own radio show?
I used to. I currently have an offer on the table from two different major radio station sources, and I'm trying to get the funds up to do it.
Well, why would you have to pay? In radio, you get paid, you don't pay.
Because
I'm sorry?
Well, they're basically major radio. They're basically major stations that they told me they require investment. I'm looking into it at this point, but I'm kind of keeping my options
Can I tell
right
you
now
can
open.
can I tell you something as a guy who's been in the media for the last 23 years? Here's a secret.
Sure, absolutely.
They pay you. You don't pay them. Because when you start paying them, what you're doing is you're buying airtime that they need to be filled. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, if you want to come on this station, it'll cost you so much money per hour. And that covers the cost of the producers, this, that, and the other thing. That's not how it's supposed to work. I have not paid for a radio spot. I get paid by networks. I get paid by stations. I get paid by advertisers. I don't pay them. They pay me.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. That's how real broadcasting works, is the talent gets paid, not the talent pays for the airtime. You and I have to take a final break. Please stand by. Exo Nation. Our guest this hour is Melissa Bryan. Her website is www.justmemedium.com. And Melissa and I will be back as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Now, still, if you'd like to send me your emails with your comments, your suggestions for guests, or whatever, X-Zone at XZoneRadioTV.com. That's X-Zone at XZoneRadioTV.com. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Melissa Bryan is our special guest this hour, Exo Nation, www.justmemedium.com. That's www.justmemedium.com. And she's also known as Little Feather. Melissa, I understand that there's a bit of a controversy going on in the internet with you, with some people who are just not members of your fan club. How did that all start?
I think it started years back when I went to an event that was supposed to be for family history, and it turned really bad really fast. And I don't think this is a place to exactly get into what happened, but in any case, it ended up where they started smearing me and my family, and we've been fighting them ever since. And a lot has gone on. I'm not going to name what's been going on, but a lot has gone on. And basically, I even got a barrage of email threats just today over even so much as attempting to guest on a radio show. Well, no, I did not name who or what, why, or anything.
But what kind of threats do they give you? That's not fair. Like, this is Canada and the United States, freedom of speech. You've got rights. Why should you be intimidated?
Well, basically because they've pretty much destroyed our reputations, mine and my husband's. The business I've got right now, Just Me Medium, is not doing so hot because of a lot of this.
Really? Is there anything that can be done?
No, we've tried.
But the threats that they're giving you, are they personal danger, personal harm that you could actually take to the FBI?
Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. It's mainly them just laughing at me for it, but a lot of it goes into where they threaten my family, they threaten my cat, my home, my family, my just every facet of my life has been called into question, shall we say.
Have you contacted law enforcement?
Yes. Yes.
And
yes. We've tried, and they've turned us away.
Why?
They said there's nothing they can do. They claim we don't have an identity of the perpetrator when we do.
That's very simple.
We have attempted to bring this to them. It's really strange.
with an email address, or the law enforcement certainly has the ability to backtrace on an IP address and find out who's doing what. We do it with terrorists. We can certainly do it with people who threaten other people.
Right.
Yeah.
They've basically used fake addresses. They've even called my home on a number of occasions.
Oh my gosh.
They'll blow up our phones. They'll, they've threatened every facet of my life. Like, for example, and I'm going to give this just as an example.
Sure, we've got about 30 seconds.
When we returned from... Okay.
So go on, 30 seconds.
When we came back, basically someone tried to do a home invasion on us. And my husband and I scared them off. And they've not come back since. So, yeah, that's just an example.
But you're a psychic. Can't you use your psychic abilities in your favor into helping the police with this case? Don't psychics help police officers at all times?
Yes, I have attempted to, but they turned me away. So,
must be frustrating.
I guess it's because whoever is too close to my own energy field, so I can't tell who it is. You see what I'm saying?
All right, Melissa, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Send me your email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.